What's up, everyone? It is Friday. You made it. Congratulations. It's the Friday Live with Lauren show. I am Lauren. You're all probably expecting me to have a guest with me today that I don't have, but don't worry. Our recruiter sis is filling in. If you've never been here before, welcome. We are so happy you're joining us today. If you have been here, thank you for coming back. You are the reason that I do this show every Friday. I want you to learn and laugh and level up with us. And I'm going to bring on my very special guest, NECA. What's up, girl?
Hello, what's up?
Hello.
Up?
I am so excited you are joining me today.
Me
It is
too.
going to be the best hour you have ever had on a Friday, let me tell you.
For sure. I'm so
All right.
excited.
So if you're watching, one, this is not an audio event. We can't see you down there. We don't know you're here. Comment and tell us where you're from. We're going to tell you where we're at in just a second, but comment. We don't know you're there. We can't tell. We are not little creeps that are like figuring out weird stuff behind the scenes. We want to celebrate you. So say hi and also share the show. Did LinkedIn give you a notice that I was live? Are they being kind to me today? I don't know. I didn't say anything bad about LinkedIn this week. So hopefully LinkedIn said Lauren's live and you're all here with us. But comment where you're joining us from. While we're doing this, I'm going to switch us so that you can tell us all about you, NECA, and then tell us where you're from too.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Lauren, for inviting me on today's show. My name is Neka Ichu. I'm in the Dallas area, and I'm what is the recruiter sis on LinkedIn. And I love to connect people to jobs, to good opportunities, and honestly, just anything good and that will help you feel better about yourself. And especially here on LinkedIn, feel better about being a job searcher. I love Pilates. I love plants, and I love my puppy. Her name is Honey. Some of you might have seen her in the past on my LinkedIn page, but I really am just excited to be here to share some good job seeker tips. Some other things about me, I'm also a licensed esthetician, and so I do that on the side just for fun because, I'm all about that work-life balance. And so I have a good time just helping people feel good about their inner selves, and then also here on LinkedIn helping people feel good about their job search because we've all been job seekers before, and it's not super easy to navigate. And so it's helpful to have a community of other job seekers, and that's kind of what the LinkedIn fam has turned into. So shout out to all of you that are on my page that are just constantly hyping each other up, hyping me up. A lot of people helped me out while I was in my job searches in the past, and so awesome community that we have over there. And I just love for us to continue connecting and networking with each other. So we're going to talk about some ways to do that today with Lauren. I'm excited.
I love that. And the community is really what helps you persevere through that job search.
Yes.
You've been there. I've been there. It's not an easy process. And I just want to remind you, if you're watching today and you're like, Lauren, I'm defeated. NECA, I'm over it. If you are watching, I see you. I feel you. Your time is coming too. Do not get discouraged. We have all been there. I made this whole post today about how we all fail. Guess what, y'all? Typically, if I'm writing it for me because it's true. It's something I'm dealing with. So just how she said, you guys pump us up. We want to pump you up. We want to support you. And we want to get you through this transition. There are so many of you tuning in. I got to call it out. Look, somebody said, my favorite recruiter. They're talking about you, not me.
Thanks, Kosi.
There you go. Apparently there was some problems getting past the bouncer and the velvet rope. Glitchy if my attendance number. Thank you, Aaron, for letting me know that. I think it's just been a LinkedIn thing, to be honest. Happy Friday. We got Dallas in the house too. Look at that. What's up? We got Cali and Nashville, Michigan.
I think I saw Hawaii in there.
Raleigh. Yep.
Love
We
it.
had Hawaii in the house. We got Nigeria here. What's up?
Yes,
Chris
welcome.
got the notification. We got more Dallas. What's up, Derek Stoner? I see you. Melissa Houston, who is tuning in from work. Love you. They were kind and sent notifications out. Yes. Sam Sierra's here. Long Island. Y'all, we got the UK in the house. Washington. This is literally a global show today, and we're going to give you actionable tips.
I love this.
What's up, Lisa? Lisa's another great recruiter to follow. And Boston, y'all, we got everybody in the house. Oklahoma City. Okay, I think I shouted out every city I got. UK too. Happy Friday.
Yes.
All right, and this is Hawaii right here. Y'all, All right. So many great people here. We got to jump into the topics, but really quick, let me shout out Sendoso and Better Leap. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Amazing companies. We will talk all about them. And while we get talking, y'all know we always got a great giveaway. I'm going to put all the information on the bottom. There is a giveaway today, too. I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. But we're going to jump into some topics. The first one, a super important topic, is building relationships on LinkedIn. I'm going to let you take this one away, but I want to ask you specifically because I know a lot of people are getting started on LinkedIn right now and they want to come off as being authentic. They really want to build that relationship. How do they start the conversation so that it starts from that place of authenticity?
Yeah, great question to start with, especially. So I think the number one thing you should do if you are especially new to LinkedIn or maybe new to sharing your experience or your voice on your page and you're a job seeker, start with the introduction. Like straight up start with an introduction. Say, hi, this is me. And these are the things that I do, maybe some things that I enjoy outside of that. And here's what I'm looking for as well. Because no one knows to help you if you don't tell them. And the second most important thing that I think everyone should do if you are looking for a job is put up your green banner. I know that there's a lot of like here and there about the green banner, but let me tell you, I wouldn't have had the jobs that I've gotten to work in if it wasn't for me putting up my green banner as soon as I needed to and posting a new introduction or a reintroduction of who I am and what I'm looking for. That's the way to stay genuine, I think. Like just coming to this place and saying, this is what I need. And luckily we know that LinkedIn has so many opportunities and people are kind of just waiting for you to post and then they'll start commenting on it with, have you talked to this person? Or I'll send you DMs of these different opportunities. I remember whenever I was most recently job searching, I had so many people sending me just opportunities. Hey, I saw this job and thought of you. And so much I couldn't even like respond to every message, but they just kept sending them. So what I love about LinkedIn is that this is a very helpful community when you show them and tell them that you need the help, because there's so many people out here that just see jobs on the regular and on the random. Even today, I think I posted a random job from AccuWeather because the weather was weird. And I was like, I wonder if they're hiring. And so I went and I looked and they had something. And so that was just the job that I posted today. So there's just so many different ways to put yourself out there in a genuine forefront. But I think it's really important to start with that introduction, put up your green banner and share your voice and ask the people for what you need.
100%. Nobody's a mind reader. I tell people we are recruiters. We are not mind readers. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what you need if you don't tell me. And half the time when I DM someone and I assume, they get mad. So please tell me. I don't want to assume. We all know what that means. Let me know. And I really want to point out, you said, yes, use the green banner. Y'all, whoever told you that there is shame in looking for a job was someone who didn't want you to quit working for them.
Say it again.
Period. Period.
That is real.
Whoever said that to you and makes you feel shame for looking for a new role where you will make money to support yourself and your family can kick rocks.
With
Send this to me. My phone number is 407-600-5372. I will let them know. Okay? I so mean it. Please don't let anybody make you feel shame for being a job seeker. Somebody's commenting that it has been lonely for them. Y'all, it is lonely, but that's because we don't want to share. We see all these highlight reels. We see all these people who think like, oh, they got it going on. Y'all, they don't.
There was an uphill battle. There was a walk to get to here, and it was a rocky walk for sure. You know, like everyone goes through it, but not everyone's gonna say it like you said. You just gotta put it out there.
And then when you're building these relationships, I really want to ask you specifically, because I know this has happened for me, and I want to ask if it's happened for you. I have built relationships with people on LinkedIn that I now consider closer than my actual in life, like in real life, go meet my girlfriend for a drink at happy hour. I have people on LinkedIn that I feel closer to than the people I know in real life. Do you have any relationships like that?
I can't say that I have relationships that I feel closer to, but the relationships that I've made from LinkedIn were surprising with
Okay.
how close we are. Because I'm like, we've just been faces on a screen for so long, and then we get on the phone, and then we're kiki-keying it all the time, and then next thing you know, we're maybe getting a drink. And so like the relationships can move so fast, and it's not always about like, what can you do for me, what can I do for you. It's a lot of times like, hey, we're kind of going through similar things, let's connect more on that, or let's see how we can help each other through the similar things that we're going through. So I've definitely made some really groundbreaking friendships and relationships, people that have helped me. Even like I had a friend that did a prep session with me for an interview, and he asked and said that he wanted to help me, and I was like, wow, thank you, of course I'll take the help, because you don't come across so many like free resources like that, like from the direct person that like can help you. So the relationships that are built are so important.
They're so important, and they are genuine. I'll never forget last year when I was starting my agency, Jesse Woolette, I had him on the show. Jesse Woolette came to me and said, I want to support you. I want more women to do what you're doing. I have a daughter. I want her to have more women to look up to. What can I do to support you? And there was moments where he was giving me such value. I was like, what am I going to have to pay you for this? I can't afford this. Like, I can't afford. And he was like, Lauren, pay it forward. Pay it forward. Like take it, do the work. Like, don't just let what I'm giving you fall aside. That's the other thing that I think a lot of people don't think about and don't realize. Some people give help, but nobody actually takes or receives the help. So then they get jaded in giving the help, right? Because we want to give the help, but we want people to receive it and use it. So when you don't receive it, we get jaded from giving it. And I've seen that happen because I've been the person who hasn't used it. Like, I'll be very straightforward.
Yeah, same. I need to take a lot of my own advice sometimes.
Right? But you have people on LinkedIn who have this knowledge that I wouldn't sit next to this person in real life also. So they're willing to share and give. And I think if you really just come into the relationships on LinkedIn really with a what can I do for you mentality rather than a what am I getting out of this conversation mentality, which we can tell the first 2 minutes. If that's your agenda, y'all, we can tell.
We can tell.
What would you say if somebody's working on building relationships? Maybe they've been on the platform for a while, right? And they have a lot of relationships. They're connected to a lot of people in one industry, but they're switching industries or they're trying to like pivot a little bit. What do you say to people who have maybe built relationships, but now need to kind of pivot and start changing kind of their identity into this new role or facade? I see like a lot of salespeople moving to marketing or things like that, or maybe leaving one industry altogether and going to a new industry and trying to connect into new industries. What do you say to those people on building relationships?
I think it's so important to tell the people that you're building those relationships with what direction you're trying to go into, because you never know who knows someone else that could help you down that road as well. I know that for me, whenever I changed from higher education into tech, it was a very abrupt change, because I remember I was just a little unhappy with where I was in my final education role, and I knew I wanted to stay in it for as long as I was feeling not jaded, like you said. Like I started to get jaded, and so making that switch, I think it was a lot of kind of just like thinking about what skills I do have and thinking about what skills kind of work across the board. Those transferable skills are always going to give you your leg up, and talking with friends about it, because I was talking with my best friend. Some of you may know her, Lacey. She used to be on LinkedIn as well. And she kind of just poured back into me and said, hey, what you're saying sounds a lot of like what I'm doing over here as a recruiter. So you should likely consider this. And so I think just talking about what your plans are, what you want to do with the skills that you have, and telling that to the people that you're connecting with, that just expands your network. Because instead of just going in one lane and saying, hey, I want to go from sales to marketing, knowing that you have all these other experiences, if you told me you want to go from sales to marketing, but also all the other things that you would do, I'd be like, well, I have 4 to 5 people that are also in those lanes. Let me connect them with you. So that way you can pick their brains as well and see like, what else do you need to do to maybe come into their seat as well. So I think just being upfront about what you're trying to do is going to be the biggest thing for building those relationships and actually letting them work for you as well.
Right back to the nobody is a mind reader.
No one's a mind reader.
We
Nobody
have to
knows.
talk about what we want. And the other thing I want to say is that by building these relationships and getting to know people, right? You learn things. Like I just learned that you're passionate about Pilates, plants, and puppies. Like I learned things about you by having conversations with you. I was having a conversation with someone the other day. We were talking about things they were interested in. And I was like, well, there's this really cool company called Resort Path. And I'm like telling them all the things this company does. And I'm like, have you looked at their careers page? Like, are they hiring in your area? Like, and they're like, oh no, I've never heard of that. Like, there are so many amazing places and things that you're never going to think about. And I also tell people, if you just talk about what you're passionate about and other people can relate that to a career for you, you're going to love what you're doing. If you get a good manager, you're going to love what you're doing because you're doing something you're passionate about. Like the leadership really does matter. I'll be straightforward with you. If you got a bad manager, get out. But leadership matters. But if you have a great manager and you're passionate, it's going to be amazing for you. And you didn't have to like do anything crazy and sell your soul for some type of job. You just built a relationship and networked and talked about the things you like.
Yeah. And then somewhere out of nowhere, they're like, hey, I remember you saying that you had an interest in this. I have an opportunity for you. And it's like, do I even remember that conversation? I'm so happy that we had it. And I'm glad that you remembered it because now look at me. So yeah, big time.
100%. And Sam says, closed mouths don't get fed. Yes, Tom Slocum gave me that advice. And if somebody tells you no, there's some psychology in asking twice because people don't like to say no twice. So ask again. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you. Yes, Andrew has called my cell phone. A number of you who watch the show have called my cell phone. That is my real cell phone number I give out. I'm happy to answer as long as you don't call me while I'm live. Sam says, I'll never be able to repay the gifts that Nadine's watching too today, has given me. I've never met her in real life, but she's become my person. Yes. LinkedIn friendships are real friendships. Speaking of Nadine and Peter. Yes. The community on LinkedIn is so much fun. Aaron's commenting for Sendoso. Y'all don't forget to comment for Sendoso. I will show you all very quickly. This is the prize. Let me move this banner. Okay. So there's chai latte. I would want the chai latte.
I want the matcha.
Okay, well, you can have that one. I go. Right. Comment hashtag Sendoso. This is a gifting experience. So you can either keep this for yourself or you can gift it to someone else. You do have to be in the United States. If you win this, you're not in the United States. You have to gift it to someone in the US. But hashtag Sendoso, win something fun for showing up today. Your boss didn't give you anything fun like that today for going to work. So at least maybe you win something. All right, we're going to move into our second topic, which this is an important topic because a lot of people network, but they don't network with any type of intention. So I want to talk about being very intentional in our networking and in growing our networks. One of my favorite people that I've ever chatted with on LinkedIn, April Little, told me a long time ago that I need to be very specific with who I let in my LinkedIn network, not who follows me, but who are my actual connections. Because as you all know, LinkedIn has a 30,000 connection limit. Once you hit it, you're done. And then you become one of those people who is like, oh yeah, I couldn't connect with you because I had 30,000 connections and it's just too full. Like y'all, go edit and audit your connections. You got people in there from your high school you don't care about. Delete them. You're never going to work with them and they don't matter. They're just spying on you anyway. But I want to ask about networking for success specifically. When you're coming on the platform and you're like, hey, I want to do this and I'm just going to connect with every recruiter out there. Why is that not a way to be successful? Like, I mean it. Like, people think I'm just going to connect with all the recruiters, and they really do think that that's a way to be successful in networking. So let's set the record straight. What is a successful way to go about networking?
Yeah, well, I can definitely agree that adding all the recruiters is not a good way to go about being successful. I think if you're trying to be very intentional, I always say the first thing is to seek out the job that you want to apply for and apply for it. apply for the job, apply for the role, and then go to the company's LinkedIn page and seek out the recruiters on the company for the company. And it's okay. I know that on LinkedIn, I don't think it like specifies where the recruiter is. I think you can just say like under the company, go to like HR, and then it'll pull up like all the people that have posted that their job title is with the company under HR or recruiting. From there, that's where you want to pick your favorite one that's on the page and send them a message and ask them, hey, I have applied to this job. Here's the job number. And I was wondering if you are connected to this role, or if you can connect me to the person that does have the insight for this. I'd love to talk more about this opportunity. I've gotten some good responses from that during my own job search. I got one response that was like, hey, actually my coworker's already looking at your profile. They'll be reaching out to you later. So like you just got to, I think that is a good way to be intentional, especially if you've already applied for a job, is going about it that way. Because if you go and you just say, here's my resume, do you have an opportunity for me? You might not even get a response. I'm going to be honest. I don't respond to all of those messages like that either, because that's more work for me, just to be honest, because now I have to look at your resume, see if it matches up. And it most of the time does not align with the roles that I have. And so it's better for you to, at least if it's a company, if it's a job at my current company, then let me know what job it is, because then on the flip side, all I have to do is go into my system, see which recruiter is attached to that, and let them know, hey, someone wants to connect about this role. So that is I think that's a definitely intentional way to go about it, instead of just connecting with all the recruiters, sending your resume to all of them, because not many of them will be able to help you in that way.
No, and I want to point out the one thing you said that some people aren't going to catch. You said, I already applied for this role. Please don't message a recruiter that you found a job that you know you would be a fit for and say, hey, do you think I would be a fit? I'm thinking of applying.
I tell you, go ahead and apply. If you're a fit, we'll reach out.
Apply. So please, that's a wasted email. One, I know LinkedIn is like really changing the game and like notes with connection requests and things like that. So like that's a waste for you. Sorry, it is. We want you to be successful. Don't do that. The other thing is, if you want someone to just like review your resume and help support you, that's different than saying, hey, do you have a job at your company right now? There are different requests that I get in my inbox, right? I get some people who are like, hey, Lauren, do you have a job for me? Keep me in mind. You're not going to be kept in mind. I probably don't have a job for you. You did no work. I'm doing no work either. Like, that's kind of my opinion of that. If you do no work, I'm going to do no work. But if you message me and you're like, hey, Lauren, you don't have a role for me right now. I know you post a lot of stuff and you do resume reviews. Do you have 30 minutes next week that we could jump on a call and you and I could help level up my resume so that when you are hiring again, I could be a top candidate? How much better does that sound?
That message. That is my favorite. Y'all can send me that one possibly, and I'll respond more to that one.
I would totally respond because you're being thoughtful. You know what you want. I would totally give you free 30 minutes of my time. Maybe not 30, but you know what I mean? I would jump on a call with you and I would review it and I would help you because you did some work and you showed that you're willing to put forth effort. And y'all, recruiters, like when Amy came on the show, she wants to keep her 90% acceptance rate. We want to keep a high acceptance rate. We want to submit candidates who want to do the job, who want to work here, who want to make it, right? I'm sorry, I got a 6-month guarantee. You better make it 6 months. You better make it a lot longer than that, because I want my clients to be happy and I want you to be happy. And if I put you in a role that you left in 6 months, you probably weren't that happy to begin with and I didn't do my job well. So think about that. When a recruiter tells you we're going to go in it with a different candidate, it's probably not you. It's probably that there's that one candidate that does check every box. Maybe this is their exact passion. Maybe it's just like the stars aligned. Y'all, your time is coming. Keep going. Don't be discouraged. Everybody has, like, there has to be a loser for there to be a winner. I talked to my kid about this in sports. That's what we're learning right now. When that person won, who got that job, they won, right? They won. Somebody had to lose. So don't worry. Keep playing the game, because we all know that's what it feels like. Yeah. And if you keep playing the game, you will be successful.
At some point, yes, you will.
We're going to give you some more tips so that you don't waste your time. Yeah. What is the number one message, other than keep me in mind, please? Other than that message, what's the number one message that you get that you would like to help people improve so that they can get some better responses or just some responses, period.
Man, because I get so many of those. Here's my resume. Do you have a job for me? I think that is literally the number one message that I get. I'm trying to think though, outside of that, luckily outside of that, I've been getting messages of like appreciation, like, hey, I really appreciate the post that you're making. This is so helpful for the community. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing them just because you said that. So encouraging recruiters around you, especially ones that are kind of already giving resources and tips and things, like encouragement goes a long way. And I tend to remember the people that encourage me and not necessarily remember the ones that are asking me to work for free.
We don't work for free. Here, I'll let you answer this one. Randolph wants to know, is it a good practice to contract a recruiter after I apply? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's very helpful to let them know, like, hey, my information's already in your system. And to do even better, here's a job number that I applied for. I'd love to talk more about the opportunity. I think that's really important. That way, at least if the recruiter has the reach to make some decisions on who's going into the pipeline and whatnot, then that's helpful. I will say, whenever I was doing recruiting for recruiters a couple of years back, I remember I instantly went into my system to check on the people who had sent me a message on LinkedIn, because they're right there. That's low-hanging fruit. I love low-hanging fruit. It's easier. And so I'll go for those people. And so if you message a recruiter and you know that's their job that you applied for, message them, let them know, like, hey, I'm so happy you posted this and I have applied. And I'm looking forward to talking more about this. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. Let me know when you want to connect. And that's harmless and will pop up on my messages, and I'll be like, hey, okay, cool. Let me go check and see if they're a good fit, and then go from there. So yes, definitely always try and find a recruiter to message. And like I was mentioning earlier, even if it's not that direct recruiter, then go to the company's page, find a recruiter, and ask them to direct you in the right place.
100%. Y'all, you can play back the replay if you didn't catch that, but that is how you be successful. I gotta shout out Lisa, because this is my pet peeve. More annoying than finding a job is a message that just says hi.
Hi,
You
I don't
are
respond to
wasting my time and your in-mails.
I don't respond.
I will almost give back every in-mail, but if you message me and it just says hi, you're sitting forever. Purgatory. Nope, never going anywhere. Just sitting there. No, please don't just message somebody and say hi. Tell us what you want. Talk about the things. Hi is essentially like putting Happy Monday in the subject line of an email. Don't do that. That was 3 years ago. Don't do that. Don't just message and say hi. All right. Perfect. Okay. It is almost at the halfway point. Can you believe we're 30 minutes in?
Oh, already?
I can't believe we're 30 minutes in. Okay. If you're still watching, don't forget, comment #Sendoso to be entered to win. It says that 124 of you are watching, but only 8 people have commented Sendoso. I don't understand some of you sometimes. Don't you want a clever holiday super latte kit? Let me give you some fun stuff. In just a minute, we are going to have Michelle Craig come on for my favorite part of the show, High Five Friday. Neck is going to experience her first High Five Friday. I think it's like the most uplifting thing you're going to see on LinkedIn all week. And I'm just really thankful Michelle decided to bring it to the show with all of us. But I'm going to go. I'll let you take a little break. We'll see you in just a second. Peace. And then y'all, Michelle's going to come on and do High Five Friday. Don't go anywhere.
What is up, y'all? I brought a special guest. This is Bella McNiven, and she's spending the weekend with me, so I figured I would bring her on to celebrate with us. Before I jump into the high fives, I want to celebrate a small win, and that is that I did 9.5 minutes of cardio today. I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there that says you kind of have to push it to the max, but some days you have literally under 10 minutes to get that workout in, so I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Now that I've celebrated that, let's jump into our high fives for the day. What do you think, Bella? Are you ready? All right, so first we have Nadine Air for Sam Sierra. High five to Sam Sierra for being everyone's champion. Erin Delaney wants to shout out Grayson from Grove Cookie Company, LinkedIn's favorite cookies. Carrie Crow wants to give Lauren Funaro a high five. Erin Thompson wants to give a shout out to Joe Fontana. High five to you, Joe. Scarlett Gordon for Precious McMillan, who's always celebrating job seekers on LinkedIn and beyond. And then last but not least, Melissa Houston for Narki Narti of the Wakabumi program for her ongoing support of future leaders in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It is my honor to honor you today. Thank y'all so much. We love the high fives. We love celebrating with you. And don't forget, you can submit your wins as well. I'll see y'all next week.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye, Lauren.
Bye. What's up, y'all? I'm so excited. It is the second half. It is Friday. You get the weekend after this. You get to, like, I don't know. Are you chilling after this? Are you still got a lot of work to do? Like, what are you doing? Are you playing hooky right now? Are you learning a little bit so you can, like, report back to your boss 3 bullet points of the things you learned on the show so that they let you come back? Don't forget, we have this fun giveaway today. I'm going to drop it back on the bottom. I'm going to come back. You know I got my guests with me. Are you ready? Are you ready to come back? What's up?
Hello.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. We got everybody here. You guys are so special, precious. I'm so happy you got a shout out. What's up, girl? Sam in the house. Go follow Sam and Precious. Peter, yes. Peter goes, I responded, but incredibly annoyed. Tell me why you are reaching out to me. Peter, I feel your frustration in the all caps. I'm not yelling. You're yelling this time. Normally it's me. Let's go. Ross Smith in the house. And yes, y'all keep commenting Sendoso. Oh, look, when I said that, a whole bunch of people didn't say it. They all started commenting it. Ross, do it again. Don't have the little space. I want you to actually be entered to win. And Aaron told Lisa, it's wild how many people are thinking, oh, your job isn't to find me a job. It's true.
It's true.
Kind of true. Okay, we got the Wakabumi project in the house. My graphics were kind of glitching a little bit. Sorry, they wouldn't move for me. But we are so happy you did a shout out to Nadine. What's up? And Derek, you've been entered to win before, so maybe you win this prize today. Super excited for you. Bella made a special appearance. Lindsay, you got to come back and watch the episode. Bella is famous now. I joke with my kid every Friday. He's like, Mommy, are you famous? I'm like, not really, buddy, but you can watch my show if you want to. We are going to talk about a lot of factors to learn as a recruiter, Ross. There's so much to learn. I just like to tell people recruiting is sales. And if you don't like sales, you probably won't like recruiting. Because at the end of the day, it is a sales job. But that is not here nor there. We are going to talk about some stuff for job seekers right now. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So I do a lot of job search strategy. I'm not going to name the people because most of them are employed, but I had a meeting with someone today and we were going over job search strategy. So I'll give some of my tips and tricks in a minute, but I want to hear from you. When you're chatting with someone, first, let's talk about people who are currently employed, who are starting to job search, and then we'll talk about people who are unemployed because I know it's kind of a different scenario, for being honest. So if you're chatting with somebody who is employed, they can't really tell people openly they're job searching, can't use that green banner yet. What do you talk to them about job search strategy and how are we changing it up from what we were doing a few years ago?
Yeah. So one thing I will tell the passive job seekers right now is instead of the green banner, you can still post that you are open to work on the internal recruiter side of LinkedIn. I believe whenever you go to say I'm open to work, there's an option that'll say, do you want it on the public or do you want it just on the recruiter side? Because I'm sure you've seen there's all these different versions of LinkedIn and there is a LinkedIn recruiter version. And so the recruiters have a special different kind of access to all of our LinkedIn pages and to our information and everything. So definitely if you're currently employed, but you want to just start that job search or just constantly be in the job search, which I don't think is a bad idea, put that you're open to work on the inner side of LinkedIn, and that can help you in that job search. Another one is that I've never personally had success applying to jobs through the LinkedIn Easy Apply. I don't think I've ever gotten a reach out from any jobs that I've applied to that way. And so I think we might have to step away from the easy apply or from the just one click to apply stuff. Go straight. If you find the job on LinkedIn, go to the company's site. go to their job site and apply there directly. That way, you know, one, this job is a real job. Two, you're not just sending your information to some rando or whoever could be on the other side of that job posting. And three, you know that for sure, well, usually for sure, whenever you apply directly on a job site, then your resume at least is going to show up in the same format that you expect it to. I will say in the past, I've been on the recruiter side of seeing those resumes and applications that come through from the Easy Apply. It scatters your whole resume completely. Like it doesn't even look the same. And not that this is a good reason to deny an application, but I know that there have been managers, hosts in the past that are like, I don't even know what this resume is. What am I supposed to do with it? And they move on. And we don't have that much time to be reviewing resumes and trying to decode what this could all mean. So we're just going to move to the next one. So you don't want to like lower your chances of even being seen by applying through the Easy Apply or through like these different job sites, whether it's like Monster, LinkedIn, or whatever it may be. I always strongly recommend going directly to the site and applying. Another thing, and I think I just saw this question come in, if you meet the 65 to 70% rule of the qualifications, apply. Apply if you meet, I think 60 to 70% of the qualifications is a good number because there's room to grow. There's room to grow. And I think it's about how you present yourself throughout the interview process and even in your resume. Like, what story does your resume tell? Are there other transferable skills from other different experiences that you've had that can help you in this next one to make up for that gap of the qualification? So don't let not being fully qualified stop you from applying to jobs. You just never know what that manager is looking for and what type of chance they're going to give. Because I know for me, I've been given chances in tech and in recruiting, and I've been able to show how I can come through and really deliver. So you want to present yourself in a way that says, I know I'm missing some of the experience that you're looking for. However, here are the tools that I've taken, the steps that I'm going to be doing to make sure I can make up for that while on the job. If so, good.
That's such good advice. I always tell people, especially if you're worried about you don't meet all of the requirements, take the bullet points from the job description and rewrite them as your personal points of ways you've done them in the past. And if you get mostly through all of those bullet points and you can speak to how you have done these, you can have this conversation. And then when you hit a bullet point and you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that, or I haven't done that before. Do you know how you would learn to do it? Can we talk about how you would do it or what you think you should do? Maybe could we talk about how if I was in this position, I would do this, or do some research and figure out who else works at the company and say, hey, I don't know how to do this, but I know Tom in such and such department probably does. And I would reach out to Tom and ask Tom for guidance. How impressed would they be that you did the work to figure out, okay, maybe I don't know, but I even know who to ask if I was going to go I got the figure it out bone. I don't know if y'all have it. I got the figure it out bone. You don't have to tell me how to do anything. I'm going to figure it out. Like, I fully believe if I had to do heart surgery on you for you to survive, maybe not, but I'm just saying, I am one of those people that if we're on the deserted island, you're going to be happy you're with me because we're making it.
We're going to figure it out.
We're figuring it out. So think about that when you're going through the job description. If you can do a majority of these bullet points, you probably got it. And if you break it down simple, bullet by bullet, you probably will be much more prepared to have the conversation when the recruiter's like, oh, well, I know you didn't hit this and you didn't see this in your experience. Yeah. You already have it listed.
And that is another big thing about like how to kind of change up your job search strategy. If you're not already going through those bullet points and taking them and changing each of your resumes. I know it's a headache, and I know people are like, oh, you don't have to change your resume for each job that you apply for. I really think you do, at least in the aspect of the bullet points, because taking their words and putting it into your own of what you've already done, that not only, of course, solidifies the fact that you can do what they're asking for on the job description, but also you've done it in all these different experiences as well. Like, it's so laid out for the recruiter to identify the connections there. And so it's so important to at least be editing your resume for each job that you apply for, because one resume is not going to work for another job. It just won't.
And I think that that's like a great tip for this comment. If you want your resume to be shortlisted, take the time to invest in editing it for that specific role you're applying for, right?
Mhm.
I talk to job seekers a lot and they're like, Lauren, it's not realistic. I'm like, if it's not realistic, you're applying for too many jobs. One, you should not be mass applying for so many jobs that you are exhausted and mentally just like, if you hate your life by the end of the week because you have applied for 500 jobs, you're doing it wrong and your strategy is wrong. You don't need to apply for 500. You need to apply for 20 or 25 super specific roles that you're networking into, that you're using all of these tips and pointers we're telling you about, 20 to 25. And then you need to specifically follow up, connect with other people in the company, do all of those things. And if you're not willing to edit your resume, it's not a job you really want. It's just my advice. We have a few more questions. This person asked about 70% of what? I understand not all the bullet points have the same weight, but as a recruiter, what would you say when we're talking about if you meet 60 to 75% of these qualifications? What are the qualifications that you think could be left out? And I know that Sam asked about maybe you don't have the credentials like certifications or degrees, things like that. So we need to hit both of them. But what do you think when somebody says, well, which bullet points are the important ones to look at?
I would say the ones that are most important are the ones where you can talk about an impact that you made to your organization and how you did it. And if you can put some data to it, then that's going to be a really good point to include. Things like keeps an organized desk to make sure that they're completing that. Like, that's just general fluff, you know, like there's a lot of job descriptions have a lot of fluff, but I think the one, like some of the bullet points will usually have some kind of, were you able to successfully do this? And if you have been able to successfully do that, flip it around and say, was able to successfully do this, and here's how, and here was the impact. I think if you can align in that way, that can help. I think that answers a little.
I agree. People filter resumes, not the ATS. There are some like knockout questions, I will say, like that can move you to like the disqualified pile, but you're still there. We can still see it. It's not gone forever. And recruiters do go look through the ones that are automatically rejected because we're curious. Yes. Let's be honest. We want to just see who's applying that doesn't qualify at all because we want to see, like, we're nosy. We're recruiters. But also sometimes we want to just double check because we think we're smarter than everybody else, including the ATS. So we're going to go look at who the ATS filtered out, just letting you know. So specifically, recruiters do look at your resumes. It's not an ATS. It's some evil robot. I highly recommend you go follow Amy Miller, the recruiter in Yoga Pants. She talks about this all the time. She gives you some great advice. Her YouTube channel is popping. Shout out to all my recruiter friends. But it is not the ATS that's kicking you out. It is a person. Just I'll be very straightforward.
That's the one. Chenae said it. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Quantifying, putting numbers with things matter. And I've had somebody who's like, Lord, I did that job 4 years ago. Listen, the number doesn't have to be so specific that somebody's going to call your boss and say, did she really manage this? Okay, listen, don't exaggerate to the point where you can't have real conversations about the work you did, because you're going to be able to have to like walk the walk when you get the job. And it's very obvious when people are hired and they don't have the skills that they acted like they had. And then you're going to be back DMing me in 6 months anyway, because you're not going to be able to do the job that you lied to have. So please, when it comes to quantifying your results, quantify appropriately.
Yes.
Appropriately. Thank you. That's my rant of the day. Quantify appropriately, or you're going to be back here anyway. You don't want to be back here anyway. Okay. I think we answered all of the questions. I was trying to make sure I didn't hit any more. All right. We have one more topic. We're going to talk about recruiting events virtually and in person. I think we're mainly just going to talk about events, not just recruiting events. But as a recruiter, we were talking before the show, I think any event is a recruiting event. What about you?
Every opportunity is an opportunity to network. You never know who could be in line at the grocery store next to you. You never know who could be your Uber driver. You just never know who is doing what on the side of the main thing that you run into them doing.
So I love that you said you're an esthetician sometimes, right? Like, I'm sure every now and then you've had very interesting conversations with people that are very interesting. And fun fact, if you've watched the show before, you know this about me. Maybe you don't. But every now and then I bartend part-time. That's a trade I love, a skill I have, and it's so fun,
It's so
people.
fun.
And let me just tell you, when you're sitting at home, you don't have a full bar. You can't make whatever you want, whenever you want, because you don't have all the stuff. It's too expensive. I would never be able to afford it like
Right.
that. I mean, I want to have it like that one day, but I don't yet. So I bartend part-time. You'll never imagine the people that you meet. And I'm pretty specific when I'm bartending. I don't tell people I'm a recruiter just because, like, everybody wants you to get them a job when you say you're a recruiter. Everybody. Or the opposite side of that is people say, well, you're not a good recruiter because you're a bartender. Like, it's one or the other, right? The people who make you feel shame, whose opinions don't matter. It's one or the other. It's actually like, no, I just have something I'm passionate about. We talked about all of this stuff earlier. When you do something you're passionate about, you love your career.
It's just fun.
You love
Why not? Why not? I was bartending for a little bit too, and even started a little side business of doing bartending on the side and like little events. And like, it's just fun. Why not? You know,
I joke with people. I'm like, if I wasn't here serving it, I'd be there drinking it. And at least I'm going home with money, not giving it to you.
You see, I understand. I absolutely understand.
But going to events and meeting people and having just all of these opportunities available to us, especially as a recruiter, when you go to an event and you're going to try to network at an event, when you're a job seeker, what's the most important thing to do? It's not like walk around and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Here's my resume. Hey, I'm looking for a job. What's my, like, how do you get results from an event where you're networking and there's recruiters there? How does a job seeker get results?
I think going back to being genuine and intentional is always going to be the first two things to remember. I usually will, at networking, anytime I have an opportunity to network, I don't start off the bat with, hey, I'm a recruiter. What can I do for you? Anything. I usually am like just trying to connect with them on a personal level, just to see like, hey, what do you like to do for fun? Or like, I think like some questions that I usually always ask, like, where did you get your name from? Just to like get them to connect back. Another one, like if you had a week of like paid time off, what would you be doing? Like, what would you be doing right now? And then also then to like tie it back into working, like what makes you happy to do your job? Like why do you love it? Or why are you trying to leave it? Or as a job seeker, talking to a recruiter, why do you love recruiting for what you're recruiting for? What has been the fun parts? What have been the low parts? Just to like connect in an intentional way, because of course we're all here to figure out how we can help each other. So it'll be nice and you'll be remembered in the front of my mind. If you ask me where my name came from, not many people ask you that. If you ask me like what I plan to do in my free time, not as many people ask you that as whenever you have the badge of the recruiter on, for sure. And then even on the flip side, like that's just not what people are typically asking. So I think it's so important to just be genuine, go in, and of course, like share your LinkedIn. Follow up with them after the event. That way they remember. And I always tell people, I'm like, if we connect at an event, message me and say it was so good to meet you at this event so that I can remember, because we're just meeting so many people. Networking happens all the time, often in so many places, and it's fast sometimes. And you might get a bit of someone's information and then need them 2 months down the line, and it'll be helpful to go back to your messages and search like, good to meet you at Mixer Cloud. And then I can find all the messages from people from Mixer Cloud. So just follow up, be genuine, be personal, because of course we're all here to help each other, but we're also here to get to know each other too.
I always ask people, my question is, if you had a trust fund and we didn't have to go to work tomorrow, where are we going? I think that's so telling about what a person would do if they didn't have to work anymore. And I think when we go to an event, we're designed to talk about work. So when somebody says, what would you do if you didn't have to work? People are like, what?
What does that mean?
Sleep? Be like, what did you just say? That's a possibility one day? What? Probably not. But listen, we're going to talk about it and pretend. But that's also how I find the things that people are super passionate about. And that's people would really love to do. When I go to an event, I typically don't even put recruiter on my name tag. I have a consulting company. I will put consultant. I will put founder. I will put a number of things other than recruiter. Like, I'm the recruiter who at Christmas, I'm hiding in the bedroom. Like, please, nobody ask me to help family find them a job. It's happened before. It's uncomfortable. No, I can't help you. I don't do that.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
Your family. Okay, so somebody's asking, what does your name mean?
My name, Neka, it's Igbo. I'm Nigerian, and Neka means Mother Supreme. So my mom named me, and my mom and my grandma named me, and I think it's an ode to them, and they're fantastic.
I love that. My grandmother passed, but I always said if I had a girl, I would name her after. And I had a boy. That didn't happen. Little boy, he's a blessing. Go on an Alaskan cruise, but it's our bucket list. That's what you would do if you had a trust fund. I bet you're going to do that one day. And thank you, Tom. I do think it's a great question because everybody is used to just the normal stuff, and I think by using pattern disruption, you can be remembered as well. The other thing I want to say, and I love your point about following up and messaging about like where you met. I can't remember who gave me this tip. It might be Tom Slocum or James Buckley. I'm just going to shout you both out because I don't remember and I feel rude sharing a tip that I got from someone else and I can't remember. Sorry in advance. But they taught me that when you're at an event, always snap a quick selfie with the people you meet and just, hey, let me get and then when you share your number, you can put the selfie in with both of you. Or when I message you 3 days later, it's like, hey, it was so good to meet you. And having that photo, like, I'm sorry, y'all, there's something I can remember you so much more if I have a picture with you on my phone. It's like, oh, yeah. Oh, this is what we talked about. It's like it brings me back to that moment. I remember you were in the pink shirt and I was wearing the black jacket and we were outside. It was really cold. I was trying to pay attention, right? Like all of the things. But take a quick selfie. Like there's no shame in that.
Yes, I've been at networking events where people were doing that. There was one time where I went to one networking event and I was doing that as well because I did not have, I think it was an event for outside of LinkedIn and I was not on any social media at that time. And so I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to connect with you people. Let's take selfies for each one. And I got their phone numbers and connected it that way. So that is a very good tip for sure.
I love it. Definitely make sure that you're taking selfies. And the other thing, if you're ever at an event, and I shared this a little while ago, but I do think it's really big because events are overwhelming, especially if you're going back in person and you haven't been to an in-person event in a while, right? It's a lot. It's a lot to be around 45 people, 30 people, 15 people, 200, whatever. I don't care the number. It's a lot. You can put me in a room with 5 people. I'm exhausted after 10 minutes. If you need a beat, take your badge off. Find a different part of the hotel. Find a different part of the conference area. Take your badge off. And that's the easiest way to get people to stop talking to you is to take off your name tag. It's almost like when you're at the all-you-can-eat steak place and they're bringing around the meat and the card is red or the card is green and you turn it red. Or like in my Uber settings when it's like, are you talkative or not? It's like, don't talk to me because I'm going to be on the phone and doing something the whole time. That's why I take an Uber is so that I can work or be on the phone. I could drive myself otherwise. Right? It says, don't talk to me in my Uber. Love all my Uber drivers, but don't talk to me. I got work to do. But that's kind of what that name tag can do for you. Take it off if you're exhausted.
Take a walk around the corner. I remember one time I was at Afrotech and it was just there was so many people there and I walked away from the whole thing. I just went and sat in my car for like 15 minutes. I was like, I just need a vacuum of silence right now. And that's so real. It does get overwhelming because you're actually actively engaging with people. And like, I'm a talker. I'll just talk all day and I use my hands. My whole body's involved in conversation a lot of the time. I get exhausted. I have to sit down and take a break sometimes. So yeah, that is definitely so real. That's a good one as well. Like turn the badge around or just take it off. Just take it off.
My real friends would tell you that if I'm not talking with my hands, we didn't have a real conversation. If
I don't grab you when I'm laughing.
If I'm not like, what do you mean? It's not real because I'm a very energetic person and man, do I have feeling and all the things I want to tell y'all.
I got feelings all the way through my toes when I'm talking about anything.
Right? It's true for this show too. When I get done with this show, it's like, oh, because you're on for an hour, and we're so excited because we really do genuinely care about the things we're telling you. And then you get done with the show and you're like, whew, I need a nap.
Like, let me take a walk.
Take a beat. Okay, y'all, that was the last major topic of the day. Thank you, Nadine. I think we're so relatable too. I'm so happy y'all tuned in with us. We have 2 more things left to do. Don't forget, we got to give away the Clever Holiday Super Latte Kit. So comment Sendoso. This is your last chance. 12 of you entered out of like the 155. It says 200 people are watching right now. 12 people. Cool. Whatever. Thanks, Sendoso. We love you. And somebody's gonna get this latte kit. Maybe they'll share it with us. Who knows? Maybe they'll be like, you know what? I want to gift it to NECA because she had so much great information for us today.
I'll accept it. I'll accept it.
We will accept. I won't accept, but she would. Okay. Listen. Well, I only say that because Sendosa is my amazing partner, and I could get that whenever, y'all. So I want to share it all with you. And then anybody who was entered for a high five today is all going to go in a drawing for an order of Grove Cookie Company cookies. What's up? I gotta talk to Grove Cookie Company and see if they'll do a custom cookie box with me. I'm gonna try to get a custom cookie flavor box going and maybe start giving those away specifically on the show. But we will do a drawing for all of you. I gotta put it in like a separate thing, so I'll screen record it and drop it in a post today. But right now we're gonna do the Sendoso giveaway. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? Let's see. Let's share our screen. This is when you all know that I do this all by myself. There's nobody in the background helping me. Can you see it? Hashtag Sendoso, 12 entries. On your mark. Get set. Go! Who's going to be the winner today? It is Derek, Julie, Andrew, Lisa, Tom, Ross. What's up, Ross? Connect with me. We will get you this gift. Gift is from Sendoso, and it is the latte kit. You 2 types of lattes. I personally like the chai.
I'm obsessed with the matcha. So
there you go. There's got to be something for you. Maybe mix them together and be like super, super adventurous and let me know. I don't know. I saw a lavender chai latte the other day, and I'm not a lavender fan, but I was like, I wish I was a lavender fan just so I could try something new.
You said lavender chai latte or lavender chai and matcha?
No, just lavender chai.
Okay, I had a lavender matcha the other day, and I was like, I am here for this. Yep, I need to learn how to make this at home.
There you go. I do need. It's so expensive. I gotta learn to make it at home. Starbucks, please sponsor me.
Sponsor us or lower your prices.
Last year, I kept posting Starbucks, and everybody would yell at me because my coffee was $12. I'm like, well, if they sponsor me, I would have to put 4 extra shots in it. So anyway. Now I'm at the one co-work with a free espresso bar out there. Yeah, all the espresso I can drink thanks to the one. It's not free. I pay a membership here. Like, I hate people who say that, and now I am that person. Not free. I pay way too much, but I love it here, and it's worth it. So we have the last part of the show. Are you ready?
I think.
When I told her about this, she was like, ooh, and then she was like, I've been thinking about this all day. So let me switch us. We're gonna make you big. What is your Fun Friday fact?
Okay, so fun fact is kind of a 2-in-1, and it's about honey. Okay, so honey, I didn't know this, but honey never expires. Did y'all know this? Because honey, they found honey in like the tombs, like in the Egyptian tombs that are like 3,000 years old, and it was still edible, and it was good. And good. I'm like, okay, I love that. So now I'm thinking about all the things that I need to put honey in, or all the things that involve honey, and I'm wondering if they will go bad or not, because honey doesn't go bad. But
okay, hold on, I gotta know who tried the 3,000-year-old honey to know it was okay.
You know. I don't know, but I feel like the person that was reporting on that should have been the one to try it and would have said, like, don't do it if we shouldn't.
Okay, I didn't know I was going to say this today, but you're talking about honeys. So y'all, you want another Fun Friday fact? This is so random. What in the world? Okay, I read the other day, and I saw a picture of it, so I really think it's real. Ants, there's a type of ant that produces honey in its belly, and you can suck the honey out without injuring the ant, and the ant can live. It's a thing. Google it. I don't know.
Who sucked out the honey first to find out that we could do that?
Who knew we could eat that?
On an ant? They're so tiny. So
no, their belly gets big. It looks almost like an acorn, and then you like suction it out, and apparently that's honey. I don't know. Somebody go Google it and let me know. Anyway, honey facts today. Honey never expires, and somebody DM me. The first person who DMs me that they know who tried the honey from the 3,000-year-old honey, I'll send you something special from Sendoso. First person to send me the DM who ate the 3,000-year-old honey. And I will leave you all with that because it's the end of the show. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. NECA, anything else for the people before we go?
I also have a dog named Honey, and she won't expire either. So
What kind of dog is Honey?
she's a mini golden doodle, but we went on a long walk this morning, so she's passed out right now.
That's okay. You'll have to share a picture with us in the comments later.
I will.
Y'all, it was so much fun. Thank you for sharing your Friday with me. You know what I say. If you didn't like it, don't come back.